And we are live.
What is up, guys and gals? Dark Optimus here, and welcome to the Quest podcast. Tonight is going to be an awesome night. I'm absolutely ecstatic to be here. So first off, to introduce our guest for the evening, she made my sweet ass logo that I have.
And mine.
She is Shewulf. What's up, Shewulf?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. It's always great to be on the podcast, so I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Definitely. To go to our regular panel members, I'll introduce Sir Timidos. What's up?
What's
Tim?
up, everybody? Hopefully we've got a good show for you tonight, and stick around because we've got a code for Horizon Zero Dawn. Going
Definitely
out to one
Oh,
lucky winner.
what?
I know, right? We're getting crazy tonight. We also have Sir Remix Essence in the house. What's up, Remix?
What's going on, everybody? I'm doing well. Should be a good night, and can't wait to get on into things.
And to the person that is new to our podcast, Miss Ashton Luca. What's up, Luca?
Hey guys, what's going on? Sorry I wasn't here last week. Had to deal with my hoe-ass coworkers, so. But happy to be back.
I thought you were supposed to
Definitely.
be hosting this episode.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of quiet.
We'll talk about that later, Shewulf.
Okay.
It's nothing bad.
No. Sir M. Baines, what is up, dude?
Bane's on that good old mute.
Baines
Yeah, my
is
bad,
on
my
that-
bad. Hey. What's up, people? My bad. I'm trying to fix me a good cup of coffee, to go with the podcast, and didn't want y'all to hear any ruffling, but I'm here, ready to talk some games.
Awesome. So we like to start off the show with what has everybody been playing during the week. So I'm going to show it to our guest, Shewulf. What have you been playing?
All right. Well, I've played several different new indie games that have come up, like Riptide and Shift Happens, which is pretty interesting for a weird little indie game, but it's neat. Of course, heck, God, so many indies. Truthfully, I was playing this new one. What the heck is it called now? Now I can't even think of what the heck it's called. But other than that, it's pretty much just testing a bunch of Xbox ID indie games that have come out. So
Nice.
that's about the main gist of it. Oh, the Inner World is the last one I recently been playing. So
Are you enjoying all of them, or is there some that you're kind of like, eh?
honestly, so Riptide, for example, is one that is definitely to be played with friends. It's a great like you're on the water, so of course you're able to crash your friends and all this kind of stuff like any standard racing game. So that's always fun to do, and you're doing tricks to like gain boosts and stuff like that. So that makes that game a lot more fun. And then the Inner World, I'm kind of trying to get used to. The game mechanics seem to be a little confusing because it's like a puzzler, but at the same time a confusing puzzler because you only have so limited to what you're able to do. So that makes it a bit confusing, like I've said. Played We Are Dwarves, and that one wasn't too satisfied with that. That just blew my mind with how ridiculous the shooting was and the mechanics and movement and the space and stuff. Wasn't too happy with that one. But one that I do recommend is Zombie Vikings, though. I do recommend that one. I was playing that one, completed that one, and oh my god, the dialogue is hilarious. So
Yeah, I could tell you really liked it when you had your video up. I was like, oh, nice. When you were streaming, I was like, ooh, it looks like a good game though.
it is.
Check it out when I can, for sure.
And for definitely, especially for anyone who wanted to try the indie game Fee that we saw at E3 last year, you get a taste of that game inside this game on one of the side missions. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I think I saw you put a video out about that. So I was like, ooh, that's an incentive to actually pick up the game and try it out.
Yeah, well, we get really lucky because we got Frodo who's helping us out with all these. So it's just, it's just one of those amazing things when you meet people. So
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely,
Frodo's a good guy.
so shout
definitely,
out to him.
definitely. Shout out to Frodo. He's a good guy. He's a good member of the of the panel. No, he's a good member of the community. But Luca, what have you been playing this week?
I played 15 minutes of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I haven't played anything since. I'm not saying the game's bad. It's just I've been so busy with work and school. So
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Okay. So Sir M. Baines, what have you been playing this week?
It's been Horizon Zero Dawn all week long.
Dang.
Strictly
Dang.
Horizon. I was
Dang.
trying to beat Tim, but you can't beat that workhorse right there.
No, not at all, man. He's a boss with these games. I'm telling you.
But yeah,
He goes in hard.
we'll get to our impressions on that later. But yeah, that's what I've been playing all week. Enjoying it.
Awesome, man. Remix, what have you been playing?
Yeah, I've been playing a little Horizon Zero Dawn here and there, but that's about it. I've been real busy. Haven't really played much of anything. So that's about it this week, man.
Awesome. Tim, what have you been playing?
Like everybody else, I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Probably played something else earlier in the week, but I can't fucking remember what that was. I just been on playing this shit. But yeah,
Awesome, man.
it's pretty good game so far. Gotta admit.
Well, I don't have anything new to add to that. I've also been playing Horizon Zero Dawn all week. I'm enjoying it a lot. But speaking of Horizon Zero Dawn, what are you guys' impressions on the game so far?
can I go first?
Yeah, go
For
for
sure.
Yeah. So of what I played of it, it's really good, really polished. The gameplay is really smooth. The graphics are beautiful. It's probably the most beautiful game I've ever seen, to be perfectly honest, of this generation. I know people compare it to The Order 18, whatever the fuck, and Rise. But I think it really tops the charts. The only thing I would have to say is the voice acting is a bit wonky, but other than that, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you on the graphics. It's a beautiful looking game. I really haven't ran into too many of the problems with the voice acting. I know a lot of people have been saying that it's kind of wonky and out of place, but I haven't really ran into it too much. I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me being an RPG veteran.
Get out there.
You biting. But yeah, I'll go ahead and give my impressions since Dark bought it out. I'm on the same page with Dark. Game is great, graphics are great. It's probably the best. It is the best looking game this generation, especially considering since it's completely open world. Gameplay is very smooth. I mean, she's completely reactive. You don't have any latency issues. I mean, it's spot on with the gameplay, and it's great too. I've had a lot of really cool moments to happen. Also, as far as the voice acting, I've tried. I mean, it's comparable to any big open world game to me. I haven't found anything that was egregious. So as far as that, I mean, it's not that big of an issue. But
the voice acting to me doesn't stand out one way or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
But they did Guerrilla Games stepped out and did a really good job on this game.
Yeah,
I would have to say that that voice actress that they chose for Aloy, I really like her. She was in Life is Strange as well. She played Chloe, so I think they did a good job with the main character. And go ahead, Remix.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the game so far. Pretty much everything Bane says is my opinion of the game as well. I also am enjoying the story so far, but I'm not that into the game. I like the mystery of the game though. As for the voice acting, yeah, I don't have a problem really with that either. There is some lip syncing issues, but that doesn't bother me in other games like Fallout 4 and stuff. which is also poor in that game, so it doesn't really bother me in this game either.
Yeah, definitely.
I truly don't really see a big thing in the voice acting. Like when it comes to the voice acting, honestly, it's a new IP, of course, and it's something Guerrilla Games hasn't done. They took from first person shooter to an open world style game. So what they've done and what they've actually created is something amazing on its own. The only thing that kind of aggravates me a little bit when it comes to the characters is when they're talking, after they're done, they kind of bobble their head, shake their head, yes, a little too much, and that's the one thing I see is every time they'll talk and then they'll stop and then you'll see them kind of bobble their head oh, okay. And it's what?
They kind of put, where Tim and I were talking about this, they kind of put some, it seems extra detail in the character's eyes, because I don't know, every time
they seem to stand out more than the rest of the
I
character.
gravitate towards their eyes.
Yeah, it does look like they pop the eyes out just a little bit just to make them kind of, so you can focus on the eyes and focus on what the characters, the expressions and stuff. So, yeah, I definitely see what you're saying there, Remix.
Yeah,
it might be a little different if you're playing on the Pro, and they might have more detail in the actual character models. But on
I will
the
say,
apparently
PS4,
it's glitching more on the Pro. I don't personally know that. I've just had a few people DM me actual clips that they've actually recorded from the Pro, where some of the robots are actually they'll start running and then they'll actually run into themselves and they'll start flipping around everywhere. And there's a few other glitches that happen where the lip syncing not matching up with the audio and stuff like that. And that was all done on the Pro. And I was wow, that's actually a little surprising because I haven't had any issues.
Right. I have
Now,
the Pro.
I have a Pro also.
Yeah, go ahead, Nate.
The glitches that I've seen so far would be, I've seen a couple of NPCs, their body would just go invisible and all you'll see is their head and their arms. I've had a couple of issues like that, but that's about it as far as glitches on the Pro.
Yeah, I've seen that once, and it was a draw distance thing.
Yeah.
I have the Pro, and I haven't come across any of those issues at all. And I'm already 10 hours into the game, and I haven't come across anything like that. So I mean, it might be a glitch in their copy of the game, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know that sometimes some people will get a glitch and others won't. So it is what it is. I mean, it's a good game though. I mean, I'm absolutely enjoying it. I think it's an absolute gem to the PlayStation family, and I'm looking forward to see where they take it next if they do another one for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely doing another one.
Yo, shout out to Frodo. He just dropped a code in the chat, so make sure you try and pick that up, guys.
Definitely.
If you do, please make sure you say thank you.
Yes, say thank you, people. Say thank you, because it takes a lot to put codes out there. So, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna go on to.
I don't get to talk about the game.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tim. My bad,
played the
dude.
most of it. I don't get to
There you
play
go,
it.
Tim.
My bad.
I'm talking about Tim was the workhorse.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been playing quite a lot of this game lately, and at first it felt like it was missing something. I still don't know what that something is, but it is definitely better than when I first started. The combat is surprisingly intricate. It's got a lot more detail in it than I first thought. Different parts of the machines, vulnerable to different types of damage, and say blowing something up on one machine can affect the others around it, which is really cool. And you usually have to use a certain type of damage to do that.
Yeah, because I know. Earlier this week you were kind of I don't know about this game. It's kind of it's a good game. It's just not fun, and I'm glad to see that you're actually having fun with it now with the different mechanics and stuff, trying out things.
There was one point in the combat where everything just clicked for me, and at that point, I just started having fun with it. It was
So do you still feel like something is missing, or
I do still feel like something's missing.
Then I'm going to be really curious when you beat that game. I hope you DM me and tell me if you figured it out, because I can't really picture what that would be. That
It's like when you make like food or something and you forget one ingredient, but you can't work out what that ingredient is. It just tastes off. Like it doesn't quite taste right.
So Tim, is it in the gameplay or the story arc?
I feel like it's in the gameplay, definitely. I think.
Okay. All right.
But yeah.
It's missing something there. Okay.
Or
Well, we
or
didn't
is
talk
it
about it.
actually is it
Go ahead.
not that it's actually missing something, but maybe just kind of makes you feel a little too much like Tomb Raider?
It might be that. Honestly, it might just be because I'm playing it on the PlayStation and it just feels off to me.
The controller
Are
does
you
feel off.
are you using a different controller? Like for instance, GKB and myself, when we use the PlayStation, we use our Elite controllers instead. So
I'm
do you
just
actually
using
use
a
it?
DualShock 4.
Okay. Well, then you may want to actually invest in the Chromus Max, or there's a new one. I can get you the link for. I don't know the exact name of it because it's got a weird name, but it allows you to play your Elite controller with your PlayStation 4 or any Xbox controller.
There you go.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
We didn't talk about the game actually has destructible environments too. I was
yeah,
surprised.
I was surprised when that first happened to me. Like I was like fighting a machine, and all of a sudden it just burst through a rock at me, and I was like, "What
Yeah.
the fuck?"
That actually just happened
that
to
was
me
crazy.
yesterday. That he like threw something and some rocks burst. So yeah, that's cool.
Like it's not everything, but like there are rocks that can break.
I was surprised the
thing-
first time it happened to me.
Like a lot of people have like a problem with the voice acting in that. I don't particularly have a problem with that. But
Yeah.
one thing about like the dialogue scenes is the camera seems to change like between lines unnecessarily. Like
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah, it does that.
like shift slightly to the left or to the right or zoom in
Yeah.
just a little bit, and it's like
Yeah.
that seems unnecessary, and it just kind of throws you out of the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of like the camera is kind of almost as if it has a mind of its own. It's kind of like, well, okay, yeah, I understand where you're coming from there, for sure. I had that problem too, but it's not game breaking enough to
Yeah,
me
it's
for
not
me to be
game-breaking.
like, oh, this game is trash, and it's.
I mean, it's really a great game all
It
around.
really
All
is.
around, Gorilla did a great job with the game. I mean,
So-
surprisingly
Yeah.
too.
If you don't mind me asking, then when it comes to this game, when you actually, because I'm assuming you've played the side missions for the fact that you're such a high level, and I know playing through the main story doesn't get you the level that you need to be to really continue on. So you playing the side missions, does it actually make you feel like it takes you out of the game at any point in time, or do you feel like it was a good added bonus to the game?
The side missions, like some of them are just like generic side missions. Go do this one thing, and those kind of take you out of the game just because they're super fucking generic and it's just like a fetch quest. Then other
Mhm.
times you get like little side missions that are almost like they've been like designed by somebody from the Witcher team.
Yeah,
Just, like,
Oh, yeah?
all those
Okay.
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah.
Well,
see,
if-
they have errands, and then they have like hunting missions or something like that, and then they have
Yeah, there's,
side
like,
missions.
8 different kinds of side missions.
Yeah, the
Hey-
side missions that I've played so far, they've been pretty decently good. Now the errands, they're like go do this and come back.
Yeah,
But the
Right.
side missions, they have a little meat on them. So
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I thought the cauldron mission was pretty interesting. Because
Yeah, that's what I was going to
picked you out
talk
of
about.
the wild and placed you in this like industrial dark area, and you're just kind of roaming through it, and then at the end you have to like fight a larger machine or whatever, and
Yeah.
that's how you can override more machines in the future by completing the cauldron missions. But that was like I just hopped in that 1 or 2 days ago, and that was a very interesting mission. I thought.
Yeah, that
there's
was very
just
cool.
like
4 of
different.
those in total, and
yeah.
they mix it up a little bit, but they're still very similar.
Oh,
Okay,
that
so-
sounds
yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's one other cool little side quest that I found. This might be a spoiler, so it not like a huge story spoiler.
Okay, I'm
but
leaving.
Don't spoil it, Tim.
Tim, shut your mouth.
I'm just gonna say it's really cool, and the game doesn't tell you what to do at all with it. But working it out on your own is really cool.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a little puzzle
Good
that like takes you all across the map.
That's always
Good
fun.
deal.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
looking forward to that. Yeah.
Definitely. All right, cool. Awesome. So Shadow of War was announced this week, If you don't know what Shadow War is, it's the new Lord of the Rings game that's the sequel to Shadow of Mordor. So, what do you guys think of Shadow War? Did you guys watch the trailer at all?
Yeah, that shit looked awesome, dude. Like
I
I
know,
didn't
right?
play Shadow of Mordor, but I'm not a big Lord of the Rings fan or whatever. I actually still need to play that game though. I'm probably gonna try it before Shadow of War comes out, especially if it's gonna be on the Scorpio, because I might get the Scorpio this year. I don't know. It looked really cool. I have to admit, like, it looked really good. I know it was just a CGI trailer, but whatever. I can't wait to see gameplay. I know that's coming out soon. So
Well, if it's anything like Shadow of Mordor, I mean, it's gonna be freaking awesome because that game was absolutely fantastic for sure.
Yeah, I actually have Shadow of Mordor, but I haven't played it yet. But definitely into this game. I'll be picking it up. I like its release in August. A little more during downtime. So that's probably the reason that I'll pick it up like day one. So for sure, into it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Go
I
ahead,
was gonna
Shewulf.
say that's actually more what I'm surprised about is not the fact that the game is releasing, because everyone wanted a sequel to this game, and I actually really enjoyed once I didn't like it too much when it was just a male character that ran through. It was kind of like what Tim was saying about the game. He's for Horizon Dawn, that something was missing, and then they added the female character in, and I fell in love with the game. Like I literally felt like I was able to run through and feel like I was playing in this game and actually was part of the universe. So I just kind of thought that was neat, but again, that's just a personal opinion kind of thing to that game. But I was actually more surprised on the release date of this game, because lately we've been getting games where they tell us that, hey, they're coming, but you're not going to see them for another year or two. However, this one releases, it kind of came out like Fallout 4, where it's like, all right, it's releasing, you're getting gameplay, you're getting a trailer, and guess what? It's coming out in a month or two. Like that part is what's amazing to me.
that is
Part
the
of its
best motto.
release was it was leaked, wasn't it? By I can't remember if it was
Target.
Yeah.
Target.
But I like how they
But was
ran
it?
with the release.
Was it really though? Like,
Yeah,
let's be honest.
I mean, was it leaked
I-
by them?
I find leaks are never like. I don't think they're accidental. I think somebody says, "Hey, let's drop something and see how many people notice." Like, I do find there's always something somewhere, because let's be honest, how many lawsuits would actually be if games were like, why'd you show this already? That was not supposed to be shown. Like, games have NDAs for reasons. So
Well,
you cannot tell me that a company who is supposed to be selling a game leaks a game would not be under a lawsuit as well. Like, let's be honest, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because since it is an August release, when would they actually announce the game? Because we're getting close to August,
Right.
It's true.
Well,
I'd like to let me cut in real quick. Thanks to Rand for dropping all those codes in the chat. You a true G, brother. You a true motherfucking G. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Rand. We appreciate it, man.
Let me chime in with
Go ahead.
Shadow. Yeah, I played the first one, and the thing is, I ran through the first one twice and got right to the end. I had like 2 missions left and didn't finish it.
Why?
So I guess I don't know, man. It was something. I just got bored, I guess, real quick. I don't know. I'm gonna go back and finish it. I still have just those 2 missions left. But up until that point, I mean, the game was great. I like the Nemesis system, the fact that the enemies get to learn you and learn certain situations that you guys were in before, and then when you're encountering that enemy, that situation comes back up. So I'm looking forward to see where they can take that situation. And in this game, you're supposedly in Shadow of Mordor. You're in Mordor fighting, so it's gonna be closer to the movie lore. I guess you're gonna be fighting some of the enemies that were actually in the movies. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up those 2 missions, and then
Shouldn't take you that long.
Get to this one. Nah, I won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this. Go ahead,
sorry.
Shewulf.
I was just going to say it, in the description, it does say, he actually has to now go behind enemy lines and face the armies that are being created in Mordor against the Dark Lords. So
Yeah, and
Right.
that's
Definitely.
sick. That sounds
Yeah.
like a freaking awesome plot. And the fact that, I know it's just a cinematic trailer, but man, that game is gonna be freaking beautiful, especially with it being on the Scorpio, and since it was announced to be a Scorpio game, that game's gonna be freaking amazing
Yes.
looking.
Yeah, I'm pretty
It's
sure it's
gonna
the
look real
first
good.
game like actually totally built for Scorpio.
Definitely, I could see that for sure. I know the power. I guess they're doing a one ring of power or something like that for the
Mhm.
game. So you're gonna be like, so I wonder how that's gonna entail with the storyline. Are you gonna forge it right away? Or are you gonna, it's kind of interesting to see what they're gonna do with that whole whole
it seemed to
story.
be that like that'll happen at the beginning of the game, and you basically lose that connection to the I think it was a wraith or whatever, Celebrimbor from the first
Yeah.
game.
Did anyone like the fact that you can actually you eventually can evolve into like a mighty overlord?
Yeah, I like that fact. That's pretty cool. I hope they definitely bring back the Nemesis
they'll be
system,
bringing that. That was
yeah,
like
they'll bring
one
it
of the
back.
best
because
parts of the
that was sick. Because
The
if
other
you
one.
didn't cut their heads off, they would like come back, and you'd just be like, God
Mhm.
damn it, why don't you die?
I just want to see what they do to do differently with the system. If what they can
Yeah.
add in
I-
to do.
Well, I think they're applying it to like different things now. Like they're gonna apply it to at least the environment or something somehow.
It says experience a
That'd be
richer
nice.
and more personal world full of new enemy types, stronger personalities, and deeper story. Anyone you face can now evolve into a lower soldier into a mighty overlord.
Dang,
So they're definitely pushing the boundaries with this one.
definitely. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they add on to that, and hopefully they don't try to get sued again by Ubisoft. Because I mean, they took what Assassin's Creed did, and just made it better. Like they literally made it better, and you can't really blame them for doing that. I mean, did they really steal what Ubisoft was, their mechanics? I don't really think so, but
Well, no, because you can claim that Rise of the Tomb Raider does that, or
yeah,
Uncharted
exactly.
does that, or
Every game.
any platformer game, they all have a base standard layout.
Anything where you can climb a wall.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Definitely.
That's crazy. But speaking of Ubisoft, the Division devs, they just announced a new Avatar game. What do you guys think about that?
Let me just say, who the fuck asked for this? Who asked for this? Name two characters from that Avatar movie. Who?
I may have not asked for this, but I'm down with it. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm down
the only
for it,
thing,
too.
The only thing is obviously it's made by Ubisoft and
Oh my fucking god! It's gonna be
made by the
garbage.
Division devs. But yo, a game in Pandora Avatar game, this could be dope.
And the most. Go
I
ahead.
mean, is it going to be an RPG or is it going to?
But the most important thing here is that James Cameron is actually, he's actually involved with the project. You know what
Well,
I'm
he was
saying?
he was involved with the first Avatar
He's-
game. Look at
yeah,
how
he's
well that turned out.
Was he? I didn't know.
Yeah, man. He was
Okay.
involved in that
I
too.
don't know
This is
anything
another
about the first
generation.
Avatar game, but
Yeah.
Mark
Also,
my
it's-
words, it's gonna be garbage, and I would let's put money down, remix, you motherfucker. Oh, wait, let me wait
I'm
till you're
just
18.
saying it has potential, Luca. But
Let's be honest, though. The movie was one of the top-selling movies.
It was.
in
That is true.
the
Yeah.
box
Name
office.
two
So-
characters from that movie, Shewulf. No one knows. No
I
one
know
knows.
It was so long ago,
There's
man.
Jake and there's
I can tell
Sigourney
you who
Weaver.
the actors, like I know who the characters that played it were, but that's not the point. The point is that it's still a number one, like it's still one of the top box selling movies that was around. It was asked for back in the time, and for the fact that Ubisoft tries to take ideas and they overthink it, yes, but their heart's in the right area, I guess you can say. They do break things a lot. I'll give them that. And they definitely don't seem to really listen to the fans, but at the same time, they are trying to do something that, was once a big seller. And I think they're trying to just milk that, I think, is what it's more about than it actually is about creating a decent game. But hey, we could be surprised. It could actually turn out to be something decent, and maybe they can fix the problems from, games that have tried to do something like Avatar before, because there is talk of an Avatar 2, right?
Yeah.
So you do, like, let's be honest.
3 and 4. So
I think they're starting to work. They're starting to film Avatar 2 or start working on it now that they've written the script and that for Avatar 5.
Yes, so think about it. A lot of these developers lately, they kind of seem to want to keep feeding on movies and releasing their games around when the movie's released to try to, gain hype. Now, the thing is, there's not a lot of actual details or content of what this game is actually going to be about, like if it's going to be more focused on the original movie or if it's going to be more focused on the second movie. So, you got to take that into consideration of what is this game actually going to be. And people are just more hyped because of the fact that the movie's coming. So you got to look at it from that aspect. Milk and money, baby. Milk and money.
Well, I hope they actually don't even coincide it with the movie. I hope it's just a completely different game. It's an RPG. It's set on Pandora. You play as different characters. There's different experiences. Maybe even it's a prequel to the movies. Something like
maybe you play before the humans.
Because the humans have been there before. So I mean, in the movie they even say that they've been there for a little while before. What's his name? I forgot the actor's name, but he, before he got there, Sam Worthington. Before he got there, they even said that there was, humans on that planet before.
Yeah.
So.
Well, my thing is just this game, it has potential. It's a unique, beautiful, magical world. They could definitely do some cool stuff with it. But on the beauty aspect, because of the game, is it's made by Ubisoft, and Ubisoft tends to show beauty and then not actually release it. The graphics tend to be drowned out during release, and I really hope that doesn't happen with this game because, man, this game, if it could just, it has to be beautiful, I think, because, the world and the movie, it's beautiful.
I think Assassin's Creed, the new Egypt one, is going to determine that one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I do hope this Avatar game, I'm probably not going to pick it up. I didn't pick up the last one. But I do hope it's like an original story. Because when was the last time you played a game that was based on a movie story that you enjoyed?
Right, exactly.
Game.
Yeah.
But I don't think there. I think the only one that I think I can think of is X-Men Origins Wolverine. That was the only one I think.
That was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Actually, the game was even better than the movie.
Yeah, I was going to say it was probably better than the movie if it was decent.
That's the thing. It was better than the movie. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're, like Remix said, Ubisoft has made a lot of mistakes in the past with, visuals, and I'm very skeptic about it. I mean, especially since it's the Division devs, it's like, yeah, you guys got a lot to prove, especially since, the Division,
well, the Division was broken, but it wasn't a bad looking game, though.
Right, yeah. It was broken.
It was worse looking than they had previewed it, though, before release.
Exactly.
Because
they had that.
I would agree with that.
Because that E3 trailer blew people out of the water with that, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna be an amazing game!" And then it came out.
Oh well, if you mean, okay, hold on a minute. First off, cinematics are always better than actual games.
Well, it wasn't a cinematic.
Get him, Shewulf.
It was
gameplay on a PC. It was a gameplay on PC.
Right? Yeah.
Most of these are all done on PC. They always look better than they do on the consoles. That's how it's.
I mean, it looked better across the board, though.
True. I
don't know. The beta looked pretty.
I can see.
I played the original betas, and they look just as amazing. And I don't like the only thing I found different was the fact that one, it was played on a high powered PC at the E3 and any event that they were shown at. They were all played on PCs. All games are, and that's why they look so amazing and usually play flawless because of the fact that they're on high-end PCs.
Right.
Yeah.
I could see that argument because I mean it's the same thing with The Witcher 3 when they announced that and they showed gameplay. It was like, beautiful, gorgeous. It was still beautiful and gorgeous when it came out, but it was even better when you first saw it, which kind of upset a lot of people. But I mean, we'll see with the Avatar game.
Yeah, but that's like just the way you make games. You make them to look as amazing as possible, and then you downscale it to work with whatever system you're making it for.
Right.
Plus, when you render, you can render out something at a high setting. So there's a lot of movie magic that can go into gameplay magic just as easily when you're trying to demo it out and get people's attention. So.
Well, yeah,
right.
I know.
Really can't go off
That's just disappointing, I want it.
It is, but it's it's business. It's logic. It's
especially if
what
it's a
people
good
do to
game.
sell things.
If it's a good game, then we shouldn't have anything to worry about with the graphics. At all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can generally forgive those things if it's a good game. Like look at The Witcher. It's an amazing game. Everybody just completely forgot about the fact that it looked even better before launch.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. But moving on to Xbox Game Pass. What do you guys think about this? I actually think it's pretty cool. I have no use for it. I probably won't ever use it, but I think it's good for the new people who are looking to buy an Xbox One S or maybe even a Scorpio when that comes out. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's also good for kids that can't get games new all the time, and as I know Shewulf was talking about on a podcast, like college students or teenagers, good for them that they can't get those day one games and stuff. I think
Parents who have kids that like to just flip through games all the time and can never make up their mind.
Yeah.
So first-hand experience with that.
Yeah, I got 2 of them.
But yeah, I think $10 a month
played
is
one
a
game
reasonable
for a whole
price.
year and we liked it.
Yeah, they ain't
That's
like
true.
that no more.
I think $10 a month is a reasonable price, and I believe that if you play a game and you enjoy it and you actually want to buy it, you get 20% off the game when you buy it. So I think it's a cool idea, and it'll be interesting to see how it evolves over time.
It's not streaming, people. That alone is just a wow factor because let's be honest, we don't want to stream games. We want to download games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
I will add one thing though. When it comes to this whole thing, the fact that people were really worried about the whole trading out thing, like the games being traded out every so often. I like the fact that Phil Spencer actually came out and said, hey, we don't actually want that. We actually want to keep them in there. But, it is all up to the producers or not the producers,
The developers.
Well, no, it's not the
Publishers.
developers. Yes, the publishers.
Yeah.
It's all up to the publishers and how long they can stay in there if they want to switch it out with another game, how new the game is. So they have to work around, what their limits are. And, so Phil did come out and say, hey, hopefully this is only going to be for a short amount of games that do get switched out. But that's not something he wants to actually see happen. And I think that alone kind of gives people more hope that this could be more successful with the amount of games that are put into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought it was interesting that he kind of had the idea in his head, what if games were made specifically for this, kind of how Netflix makes their own series and movies now. And, maybe there'd be a game that, you release it this month and you have it that month to play, and then you release the next chapter or whatever next month. I thought that was kind of a, that's a far off idea, and if it would ever happen. But I thought that was kind of a interesting idea that he had of how this could evolve,
Well, he's been thinking about this for 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
So he's kind of had quite a while to actually think of how he wanted the idea to grow. And just the fact of just looking at Netflix and what they do and how successful Netflix is, you might as well take that for take advantage of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I guess this is the idea that evolved from the stick that we heard about last year pre E3. That Xbox might have been coming up with some type of Google Chrome type stick to play games. I know that was a rumor floating around before E3 last year.
I don't know what.
I
I don't
think
know
it's
anything about that.
I think it's a definite draw to the system. It's going to be a lot of bundle hype during the holidays. They can easily bundle this with the system, and pull in a lot of people, especially those that don't have the money to buy the game straight out, or buy a lot of games straight out. It's not something that I would be interested in right now, but definitely later. I'll definitely pick it up. $10 a month, you can't beat that for 100 games. And as far as the publishers taking their games out, it's probably they want you to try. They want you to play the game, and then they still want to make some more money off of you, so they'll take it, and hopefully that would entice you to buy it. Some type of thing like that. I think that's the publishers look at it when they're taking these games out. But as far as Phil Spencer said, that he's hoping that will be few and far between. And I guess we'll be looking at the first party games basically staying in there. So I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's always good to have options.
Right. Yeah. Also, the first thing you got to think about with this is that us, like the hardcore gamers, that we're not the primary audience for this. It's for the more casual people that don't buy every game at release.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why it's a comparison to like Netflix. That's just like you sit back, you chill. You're not actively hitting the movie theaters every week or whatever if you're like a huge movie person. Like Optimus, you go to the movies all the time. I'm like, geez, how do you see all these movies? I'll wait for Netflix.
Why wait for Netflix when you can just get Kodi and you can just watch all the movies in the theater for free?
You freaking pirate!
Supports the content producers.
You gotta support the artist, Shewulf, okay?
Hey, pirate game on deck. That's how we do it.
No, I'll watch them from home.
Like this Game Pass, like for people who are buying their first console of this generation or just their first console ever, like they'll generally look first at what games are on the two things and then the value. Well, actually, probably the value first. And you see the Xbox where you can get the let's just say that they're like PS4 and Xbox the same price. You look at the PS4, you've got to buy all the games. You might get like 3 games a month for free if you have PlayStation Plus. Or if you look at Xbox, if you have Gold, you get the 4 games for free per month. And then for an extra $10 a month, you get 100 games that you can play.
Or you can go farther than that and add $5 extra and get EA access with it. And $15 a month, you have even more games.
Yeah, you have like 150 games that you can just play.
Do we know that if they're going to do like a year subscription for the Xbox Game Pass, or is it just
there'll be?
It hasn't been talked about.
Hasn't been talked about. Okay.
Yeah. You can
also,
almost
another question.
It'll be there.
Another question: do we know if there's going to be any overlap with EA games? Being in the.
Phil Spencer already said that EA and them are staying separate at this point in time. They are, they have talked, but there is nothing confirmed about whether or not EA is actually going to become part of the subscription. But can you blame them? Like, they're kind of making their own money, doing their own thing.
Right,
So would you really want to lose some of that by?
If anything, you might get like a double pass for slightly cheaper, where you get both of them for like $13 a month or something.
That would make sense.
But EA does the whole part of early access and that kind of stuff to like brand new games, where this isn't going to have new games. So they would also have to figure a way to work around that if they were to combine. And I don't think EA wants to change all that. And EA has had their subscription for so much longer.
Yeah.
But speaking of the subscription, I want to point out something that like a lot of people haven't been pointing out. And for anyone in the alpha program that you actually get to see this, they actually added a whole new membership spot to the games and app area. So you actually get to see all of the subscriptions that you have instead of trying to like go and find them and see what games are in them. You actually get all of it in one standard spot, which I thought was actually a really cool add-on feature that they added.
Yeah, I
that is
do
cool.
Sounds nice, organized.
It is.
Mm.
At the moment, I don't like it because it takes all of the games that were in those subscription things out of your ready-to-install list. Like, even if you own them outright, it takes them out. But
Oh, it does.
yeah, but I think it was Phil that said it's not the final design. So I do hope that if they keep this membership tab, they have it so you can just see all of the games in the current list, like in like an extra ready-to-install list, basically.
Yeah.
Nice. That would be cool.
Because
They should,
right
should
now,
definitely
the
add
biggest issue is EA access. You actually have to go into the app to see the games that are available for it,
that.
rather
Right.
than just see them in
Yeah.
your ready-to-install list.
Well, hopefully with Scorpio they'll add that kind of list, or maybe even before that they'll add that kind of like EA Access. This is where you can find these games, and then Game Pass. This is where you can find these ones, basically. So
Yeah,
that'd be
And
and
cool.
it also has
is
the
dropping in
games
spring. Is
with
that
gold
correct?
ones.
Apparently, yeah, it's dropping in spring. Yeah,
Cool. That's cool.
definitely.
I don't know what all games are on there. I'll have to check it out. You know, maybe I'll pick it up if there's a decent amount of games I haven't played. You know, but we'll see.
Same.
Yeah. Speaking of Xbox Game Pass, GameStop's stock has tanked because of the announcement of Xbox Game Pass.
Well, it hasn't officially tanked. It
Oh yeah,
dropped like about
That's true.
8% around
It's-
February 28th. But, you know, something about that is even though they are losing out on some of their like trade-ins because, you know, more people are going digital, that's not really a big surprise because a lot of people on Xbox are already going digital.
Yeah.
And GameStop can actually benefit from one thing because people who say don't want to use credit cards for this subscription, they will be able to actually go and, you know, they'll still buy their Xbox Game Passes. And if they actually make a subscription card for this, then they'll also be able to, you know, sell that where they'll be making money as well. So there is some back and forth. And, you know, a lot of people already said that GameStop is more Sony focused anyway. So it's not like they're losing out completely. Like, yes, they did have backwards compat, which that is still going to exist. So games that are not added into this, because, you know, Phil's never come out and said, hey, we're going to take all of our backwards compat games and add that into that. So they're still going to have some things that they're going to be able to make money on.
Yeah.
Well, the writing's been on the wall, you know. This is, I mean, it's obvious that this was going to happen sooner or later, which is why GameStop has been fucking, didn't they say they were going to try and develop their own games? And like,
Yeah, they
then
did.
they sell like cell phones and stuff like that. So they're scrambling. They're trying to figure out what to do because obviously we're going towards an all digital future and everyone knows it. They know it. And if they don't get their shit together, they're going to not exist. It's going to be like Radio Shack. Or
they're a form of pawn
Circuit
shop
City.
that just actually has some.
New stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
Here in California, I know they've actually considered them pawn shops here. I don't know if it's like that in other states, but here in California, they are considered a pawn shop, GameStops, because they trade in games and, you know, resell games and things like that. So
Also cell phones and like
Yeah,
Lucas said,
exactly.
there's other consoles, and you know they're going even farther with that with other things that you can trade in, and eventually you know they're going to start allowing people to trade in, say like figures and all that kind of stuff, which will then they'll just become a bigger pawn shop. And yes, they still get, you know, new merchandise and stuff like that, but how long is that really going to last for?
yeah,
True, very
true.
true.
Yeah, because they
Definitely.
make their biggest margin spread is with their used stuff. So, and that's why you had that Circle of Life program, trying to push people to the used items.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how long they will be selling new games and stuff like that. We'll have to
I don't,
see.
you know, honestly, I think they'll probably, I mean, there's always going to be a physical release of like games or something like that. I mean, because they still release CDs and stuff, you know, even though nobody practically buys them anymore. They still have
DVDs.
physical, DVDs,
Damn.
things
Yeah,
like
you got
that.
a
So there's
point.
always going to be a physical market, but it's just not going to be as prevalent as digital is starting to become and stuff. So
Yeah.
Now, as a throw off to this, this conversation, PSN is now charging taxes on their digital purchases, so that may push some people.
Yeah, I saw that shit. I was like, really? I mean, the first thing
Yeah.
I checked to see if it was like in my state, and then when I saw it wasn't, I was like, okay. And then I went back to doing whatever I was doing. But Scrotum was like, yeah, they're charging it in my states. Good thing I don't play on PlayStation.
So wait.
So
We're
that may
talking about
push
the
more people to the
PlayStation now?
stores.
So
No,
the
this is for
PlayStation-
digital purchases. Period. They're charging taxes.
Oh,
Purchasing
Jesus.
games.
So okay, I thought you meant just their streaming thing. So just in general, they're doing.
Yeah.
Digital.
Yeah, it depends on what state you live in. I haven't checked out.
Yeah,
for all the
exactly.
I know here they
But-
they don't, but I mean that's just ridiculous, man. It's,
But has anyone actually
you don't
noticed if Xbox does that? Like, has anyone actually paid attention when you
I
buy
am-
something if
No.
there
Yeah,
they
actually
don't.
is taxes?
They don't
Every time
charge
I-
taxes. No.
Yeah,
Okay.
every time I buy something off of Xbox, never get taxed for it. Never.
Yeah.
Because I know Amazon started taxing on certain things as well. So
Yeah,
I'm
they
just
did.
curious if people actually paid attention to that and just haven't ever noticed it before, or
No, yeah, because I put in, every time I buy a game, I just put in the $60, and then it's there's no tax or anything.
But
So.
my thing with
Okay.
this is, if PlayStation is starting it, do you think Microsoft will follow suit at some point in time?
I hope
You
not.
know?
I don't think so. I don't think they always try to be different from,
Yeah.
PlayStation. And, if they can do without putting the taxes on games with Xbox and have people come to Xbox because of that, then they're not going to do it. They're not going to put taxes on anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good selling point. Come to Xbox where we don't fucking charge you tax on the digital games. You know?
They
Exactly.
could push that.
I also
They
just
could
want to
push
quickly
that.
throw this in about the taxes, though. Sometimes it's not actually the company that's doing it. Sometimes it's actually a state law
Yeah,
that
it's
ends
state.
up enforcing
Yeah.
taxes
Yeah.
on certain things. So that it could also just be. I'm not trying to bring this into political at all, but it also could be the fact that Sony is overseas and
Yeah.
Trump is trying to stir things up with all that kind of stuff. So we also have to look at it from that aspect of it, that there could be something more to it than just the fact that
Oh my
they did it
God.
themselves.
Yeah, and that's a good point, especially since it's on a state-to-state basis, and it's
Yeah.
not it's not for everyone. So
Yeah,
Yeah. Trump's ruining
Speak-
gaming. I'm not surprised.
I know. It's crazy. But speaking of PlayStation, how about we do the code now, the Horizon
Yeah,
Zero
we can
Dawn
give away
code.
that code. Do you want me to do that?
No, I think I got it.
You got it?
So the question to win Horizon Zero Dawn will be, what is the graphics engine used for Horizon Zero Dawn? What is the graphics engine?
Can I answer it?
DM.
I know the answer.
Have it right now.
No, I won't. I know the answer though.
No, I know you do. But DM me, and I will get that code to you at the end of the show.
all right, so that's at Dark Optimus.
I want to throw this out to you guys. The next time you guys do a code or something, the NLG guys kind of do it a neat way where they drop part of the code at the start, part of the code at the middle, and then part of the code at the end. So viewers, you people out there, have to stay and watch the whole show.
Nice.
Mm.
Now everybody's gonna leave because
Yeah, I
you
like
said
that.
Thanks.
I like that.
Shewulf.
Why? No, that'd be more of a common sense. Like,
Yeah, we have to do that from now on. I like that idea.
I know. I thought it was a really neat idea too, because people
I
just
like having big
some people
meetings.
just come for giveaways and then leave. So
Mhm.
I like it having
Yeah.
having it be a question where the answer is something we've said on the podcast so far.
Yeah.
Oh, was that what you were
that's
gonna
a
do?
good one too. You do at the
That,
very
that
end.
wasn't what I was going to do, but I've done it before.
Mhm.
So you're saying the question that I asked was trash then, Tim?
This
you
question
guys
was fine. I didn't know the fucking answer.
No,
Frodo, you're
just playing.
you're DMing. Yeah, DMing. Because I'm looking at it, it's like DMing, DMing, yeah.
Who are we DMing? We're DMing me. Dark Animus.
Dark Autumnus, guys. Oh my god, I can't talk.
Words.
I'm drinking this tea, okay? I'm drinking this tea. It's called Tension Tamer, and it's got catnip in it. And I swear to God, like it's
Sure,
supposed to
catnip?
relax
Okay.
you. Yeah, it says catnip right on the box. But it's like, I don't know. I can't talk. It's funny. I guess it
Moving
takes,
on.
takes
Don't do
relaxing to a whole new
catnip,
thing.
kids.
We're
But it's
gonna
good for
move
you.
on. We're gonna go on to Xbox Live Creators Program. What do you guys think of this? This new
interesting.
Yeah,
program?
man. I think. Go ahead, Shewulf.
I was just going to say, it's interesting. It allows devs to take risks, and it does open it up to creators. And the fact that they want to actually bring something called creator game section into the where you can buy games. So anybody who actually creates a game will be able, it'll go into this and people can support it. They cannot support it. And I think it's cool because it allows devs to actually take risks, and we could see something from people who are creative but don't have the money to actually show that they're creative because of society and stuff holding them back. And this allows them to have that. And I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be
definitely.
good as long as they curate it. Don't have a lot of shovelware on there, kind of like Black Tiger on the PlayStation. But
Or that
if
Mayo
they,
game on the PlayStation. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, who wants to rub a jar?
Crap Gamer?
Apparently,
Crap.
crap.
Everybody knows Crap
Well, yeah,
Gamer
apparently
wants to rub.
crap, but
so as long as they curate it, I think it'll be good. It'll be good for some of these
Yeah.
young developers to get their game out.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
cannot leave it hands off like Steam does with I
Right.
forget what that shit's
Greenlight.
called. Yes, with Steam Greenlight, they let anything on there. They need to be hands on with it, so we don't get a bunch of garbage games where people are just trying to feel me.
Yeah.
yeah, but
I think-
really though, nothing is actually like, say, personally a garbage game. There could always be somebody who likes something like that. And honestly, I think it's just more or less Microsoft being like, hey, guess what? We're going to open this to a whole bunch of like developer type people who want to create games, and we're going to find the most creative ones and they can come work for us.
Yeah, and
That'd be a good idea.
it kind of just like gives you like, that's something it's just something different, and I think it's cool. People can, be creative if they are creative, and someone that would have never made a game in their life might make a game, and yeah, it's definitely interesting and cool idea, I think so.
Definitely. I think it's good for people who want to create games and don't have the access to put their games on these consoles. I think that's good for them to be able to show off their game and say, hey, look what I created. More games for us is always a good thing. Just hopefully we don't get like how we had it on the 360 where you just get a bunch of these just like indie games that were just like really bad. Hopefully they're polished, and hopefully people can do a really good job.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not like you have
some
to
of
buy
these
it,
games are gonna
though.
have their issues though. You can't expect these to be all fleshed out and like games. It's just someone trying to make something, and that's why it has its own category, and you have to be aware of that.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a winner for the Horizon Zero Dawn code. It is Ghost in the Class. So congratulations, Ghost in the Class. You won.
Congratulations, Ghost.
They want proof that you actually download this game.
We'll
No.
yes, definitely. We'll definitely get to that code right at the end of the show. So
For sure.
definitely.
I started asking people for proof because, hey, you never know. They might just like resell it or something.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
want
I
someone
mean-
who already has the game. You want someone that's gonna actually play it and appreciate it. And
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
couldn't have it. So
Shout out to everyone, hanging out with us. Sirius, you little bitch, you asked me for a shout out, so I'm giving you one.
Don't give him a shout out. Don't give him a shout out, damn it. He doesn't deserve it. No. He's a good guy. He's trolling, but he's a good guy. But we're gonna move on to PlayStation VR's new game that's supposed to be promising. Farpoint is gonna launch in May 16, 2017. So
Yeah.
what do you guys
This is supposed to be a fully playable first-person type shooter game.
Yeah, it looks like
from what I understand, it's a first-person shooter, and you like shoot aliens and walk around this. It looks like it's going to be a desert world type place. I don't know. It seems interesting. I'm not a fan of like the gun type thing that you need to use, to be more immersed in the game. I don't know. It just looks like old plastic, old tech, and kind of shitty. And I hope that comes with the game, because if it doesn't, then that really sucks, because that's supposed to immerse you. You're supposed to be holding a gun in your hands going through this game. You don't want to have a controller. But it's a first-person shooter. We'll see how it turns out. It's kind of ambitious, and I guess we can just watch and see.
Is it only playable in VR, or can you play it normally too?
Strictly VR, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so.
That's the
people
only
need to developers need to learn, like, from Resident Evil 7. Like, that's absolutely the best VR game that's out, and it's because it was a regular game and they just added VR to it.
Right.
So
yeah, I don't think these VR, these VR exclusives are going to do that well, because that install base is not that huge.
That's true.
And then you got to think of who's going to buy it relative to the install base. So they really do need to make it a full-fledged game where you can play it with or without the VR. That's the best way to go for right now.
Yeah,
this is probably a game that would make you motion sick if you get motion sick. Like looking around. Nah, I can't do that. That's one reason. Like, I won't really do VR. Is I get horrible motion sickness. So.
Yeah, I haven't tried out VR, so I don't really know if it would give me motion sickness at all. This game actually looks pretty cool. From just from what I've seen of it so far, I'm not, I'm not really into VR anyways, so I probably won't be even picking it up, even though I don't, even if I had a PlayStation VR, just because I can't see myself sitting there, after work, putting a headset on and getting lost for, a couple minutes or an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
You see, that's my only issue with it right now. I don't want to put something on my head and play for an extended period of time,
Right.
And even with Microsoft's, VR that's coming out, it looks interesting, but I'm not going to spend that money on it, because I'm not going to play it that much. Plus,
Well,
takes
which
me,
VR
I
are you
have kids
talking
too. What was it, like the one they just
Oculus
showed?
or the HoloLens?
No, Microsoft had something else that they just showed. It was like a little VR thing. It was supposed to be cheaper for Windows.
Yeah, HoloLens. I think it was.
No, HoloLens is like high end.
HoloLens is like $3,000 right now.
Yeah. They did show off at like a tech thing a little ways back, like a $300 VR.
Because right now,
VR
Microsoft
headset
said
thing,
that their only major VRs are like third parties. They're not.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer has already come out and said that he wants when he adds a VR to the Scorpio, he wants it to be able to have the VR with the AR reality. He doesn't want where you're tethered down. And he said he's watching. He's not, they're not exactly ready for that point yet. And because he doesn't want the tetheredness of being tied down with cords and everything. So
yeah, he thinks it's
I don't. Microsoft has their third-party stuff, but they don't have anything major right now, though.
I know what you're talking about, Baines, but I don't think anything ever really came from that. But I know what you're talking
Okay.
about. It was a little ways back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
I
was.
think PlayStation VR was still like new and maybe not even out at that time. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, the VR is just it's just not worth it for me right now. You know.
mhm.
Either way it goes.
Yeah. Speaking of VR, PSVR has neared 1 million sold. I mean, yay.
Yeah, good for
They were
them.
calling for over 2 million, so their quota's a
Yeah.
little off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, 1 million's not astounding numbers, but I think it's still pretty. I mean, it's decent. I mean,
Yeah, it's decent.
For a premium
It's-
product, it's not
Mhm.
bad.
it's an early adoption thing. It's not for the average person. So I think 1 million people is a pretty decent base as long as these million people actually pick up and try out some of their VR games.
Right.
But
I
right.
still
Yeah.
want to know if this 1 million is actually how many bought it, or if that's
how
how
many
many
shipped,
left
yeah.
the warehouse. Because Sony's
Yeah.
tends to be a little bit hush hush when it comes to which one it actually is. So,
definitely.
so I guess, hey, I'm sure there is 1 million out to like all the stores and all that. But again, everyone has said like VR is something that just kind of came a little too before its time. And
Agreed.
when it comes to the game, yes, Resident Evil was definitely the kind of game that focuses more with a VR style because you're literally walking around to be scared. You're not actually doing anything. You're just more or less trying to hide, stay away, whatever. But the fact of like what Tim and everyone else has said, they brought it as a full game with part of VR was the way to do it. Just to focus on VR games, I don't think is a smart way to go. And they look at it thinking that VR is going to be the next big thing, but we've seen so many things around that are just like that, where say the fact that, you compare it to HoloLens and stuff. HoloLens can sell because it can be used in hospitals, it can be used in schools, it can be used in plenty of areas because of the fact that it has AR and it's not just a virtual world where it's more into reality. So that can be used in a wider variety of audience where a VR is very limited to who can actually use it.
Definitely. Like I always think with AR, I always think of like you're online on a store and you're like, will these stools, you're looking for some stools for your counter or whatever.
Here we go with the
and
stools.
you can go and you
Jeez.
can place your let's say you need 3. You see, the size, what they look like, how they fit in your actual kitchen with AR tech. Which
Well, that is a good point though, because think about when Phil Spencer was showing the demo and they did the hospital thing where it was actually a human body and they tore it apart. Like they actually showed individual pieces and you could see the details in the body's figure and everything else like that. Or when they had the football players come out of the walls during the commercials and stuff like that. That kind of stuff appeals to people because you're still in
that's
your
gonna be
reality.
insane.
But it's something that you can use that is going to make sense. Like you could take a TV and put it up on your wall wherever you want to watch a movie or something like that. People want that kind of stuff because you're not out of your world, but at the same time, you're still using technology to do the things you want to do.
Especially,
Definitely.
it's really great for movies because I don't know about you guys, but when I get to watching a movie, I get a hankering for some snacks, maybe some popcorn, something to drink. And I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, damn it, I don't want to pause the movie because I'm so into it. So I think this is a perfect thing for that because you could, like Shewulf said, you can, display it on anywhere in the house, So, I mean, you could just, instead of pausing it, you could just get up, get some snacks, and then come back and sit down. You don't have to pause it at all. You don't have to miss any of the movie at all. I think that's kind of a cool little feature if they implement that at a certain time.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely interesting to see what they'll do with that. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Tim, did you speak on that one? I don't want to miss you again, buddy.
I don't really have much to say about VR. I don't really care about it. It's not ready for the bigger market. It's just
Definitely.
Well, I didn't want to get yelled at by you again.
It's
You
okay.
get sexy when you yell at me, man.
Should we be leaving you two alone now?
Fuck, dude.
Shewulf's done.
She's done. She's
I'm
like,
out
"I'm
of
never
here.
coming
Goodbye,
back."
people.
Definitely. So Twitch is partnering with devs.
Partnering.
Partnering with devs to what exactly are they doing there, Remix? I know you said something about it.
Yeah, I may have thrown it in the topics list, but I've been a little busy. But I think overall, they're gonna sell games on Twitch.
Yeah,
Um,
what they're going to do is going to give, if you're watching a streamer play whatever game, the game that was shown in the article was The Division. So you'll be watching a streamer play The Division, and say you want to buy it, you'll have the option to buy the game right there, and then the streamer will
I
get a
think you
certain
get like
percentage.
5% off.
Yeah, well, the streamer actually gets 5% of your purchase. So
Okay.
now you probably get a percentage off too.
interesting.
I'm not sure, but I think it's a good idea. There's a lot of times when I'm watching a stream of a game, and if I had the option to purchase it right then, I probably would.
Mhm.
And a lot of times that's right at the height of when somebody will purchase the game. If they see something awesome happen in the game, they'll be quick to hit that buy button. I think it's a good idea.
I assume they'd have to be a partnered streamer as well, because
Right,
otherwise
yeah.
people would abuse the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be a healthy thing for these streamers. Obviously, help them make a little bit of extra cash. That'd be nice. But it's kind of interesting, Beam's kind of coming out, and then some streamers are gonna want to go stream on Twitch due to the fact that they could potentially have a little extra money coming in from people watching their games and buying something.
That whole thing just seems very shady to me because one, developers are already sharing their money with, the publishers and then the companies that are selling them, Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, whatever, selling them. Now they're going to have to contribute that payment also to Twitch and then also to the Twitch streamers. That
Yeah, I
seems
think
to
the
be cutting up a lot of money for
Yeah.
a game.
The way the article read up is that the developer is going to get 75%, and then Twitch is going to get 25%. And I guess from what my understanding, Twitch would then kick 5% of their money to the streamer. That's how I understood it. It didn't outright say that, but that's the only way it could
That's a big
happen.
portion of the game going to Twitch, like of the
Yeah.
sales
Yeah.
going to Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
see, that just like unless it's actual Twitch games that were created from, you know what I mean? Like if Twitch buys developers and
Or
actually,
if Twitch works with the developers on the game.
Yeah. Well, we might
yeah,
need to
more or
wait
less.
and
Like you would
see
have
it
to really stay
fleshed
away
out.
from.
Yeah.
You'd have to stay away from PC and console companies because they would have to have a portion of that if they have the marketing rights and everything else like that to games like that. So that's pretty interesting on how.
Yeah, the article was kind of
work.
vague on that portion, but I guess we'll have to see how it works. I mean,
Yeah,
the idea it's a good idea. We just have to see, how it
that's
works
also
out.
less money going to the individual developers working on the game, and they all the smaller people in on those teams. They don't make much money anyway. They're going to be making even less with this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially if it's not a full $60 game, like that's even less money. So,
But at the same time, what person watching the stream wouldn't have bought it unless they were watching the stream? I mean, that's advertisement as well.
Yeah. And like I was saying, you're hitting when somebody's watching that stream, you're hitting them right at their point of their highest point of interest because they're sitting there watching it, So that's why I think it's a good idea. Now all the ins and outs, I guess we'll just have to wait on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Any other thoughts on that, guys? You have any other things on that?
No, I don't think so.
Nope.
Conan Exiles to release Q3 2017 on Xbox. What do you guys think about this? I think it's a really good thing. I think bringing more games to the Xbox is always a plus. This game actually looks pretty cool. I mean, it's based off of Conan. I mean, who doesn't love fucking Conan? So, what do you
Yeah, I
guys
mean,
think?
I'm not really into that game.
Yeah, me either.
It's a
I don't
You
know
survival.
what
gotta
that
play that
is.
game remix.
I could do without the nudity in most of their games. You get a little overdone.
Yeah, it's a survival game, and honestly, the vibes I get from it is Ark Survival evolved without the dinosaurs.
Mhm.
Um,
Exactly.
So, and I've heard other people say that too. So I'm not really digging it that much. It's to me, it's Ark's little cousin, and it's not going to do as well.
Yeah, I've watched people play this game, and it is that. It's Ark's little cousin. I'm straight on it. It's trash to me.
I don't think I've ever heard Bane say it's trash to him. Wow.
Is
Dang.
Ark big enough to have a little cousin?
Yeah, I mean, is it? Because I mean,
Ark was
is it,
pretty popular.
Yeah, it
and I mean,
was.
it still is, man. It's a pretty popular survival game. As for when it comes to survival games, so
yeah, I mean,
It's probably the survival game right now. Ark is.
yeah. I
There's
mean,
a lot of people that play
like,
You've
that.
got to
if you-
remember that Minecraft is in that.
I was gonna say if you
Yeah.
exclude like Minecraft, Ark is a big game, and Ark's more survivally than Minecraft. Minecraft also has the whole builder's atmosphere and like doing stuff with like redstone and different things like that.
Yeah.
Ark is a little bit less than that. It's more on taming and getting badass dinosaurs and stuff. So
Right.
definitely.
You are That's interesting. You are an
I like
exile. It says you are an exile outcast. You are sentenced to walk in a barbaric wasteland where you must where the weak are crushed and only the strong can live. See,
Sounds hot.
I'm not big on survival games because you have
Yeah, I
to
don't like those
like you
survival
guys said, it's you have to fight
Yeah.
to survive, build, you have to dominate the world alone.
yeah, I
And
mean,
does it-
I think there's very few like good survival games. I mean, if you can't tell, I
It did
like Ark. I'm a proponent of that.
There
I haven't
is
played it in
a-
a while, but
I don't know if anyone actually went because there was gameplay because it did have PC
Mhm.
early access back in January.
Yeah,
I
I
think it
watched.
was like the end of January. There was actually an early access to it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
well,
watched
that's
a
what
couple
I've
people
watched
play
some of
it.
those. That's
Yeah.
where, I get that little cousin of Ark vibe.
And that's why I was like, when I saw it, I'm like, man, I mean, it just looked like trash. It did. I mean, so I mean, it's for some people because that art community is a pretty vibrant community. So those guys will probably move over to Conan and go
Ark
back
is
and
more
forth.
detailed though.
But
Anyone else notice that Ark is a little more detailed in their
Yeah, it
textures
is.
and graphic design than Conan was? At least from obviously it's not ready yet, but
right, to be fair, Ark's been out for a while too, and it's had several
technically,
updates.
Well,
yeah,
neither
the
of them
game
are
that's in preview for another billion years.
Well,
Yeah, I know,
it's
right?
when it comes to these survival games, they're all kind of like preview games because they never really officially. I mean, Minecraft is still gets updates and new stuff added to it.
Yeah,
It's still
Minecraft is like the only
still-
one I can think of that's had
Alright,
an
it's-
official release.
Minecraft will never have an official release. It's still in beta.
No, it already
and so
has.
will these other games.
No, it has
I
had
mean,
an
not
official
really,
release.
man. It still gets updates. It still has new
It
stuff.
still gets updates, but it is officially released.
Yeah,
but Minecraft is more of an MMO style game, so
Yeah.
it's technically always going to get updates and new features because that's the genre of game that it is, allowing it to do so. But the game was still officially launched
but-
and released.
But that's how these like an MMO game getting updates all the time. That's how these survival games are too. They're just gonna get updates all the time. I mean, they might have official release dates, but they're kind of still always in beta in a sense.
I love how Frodo throws that out. The game that is in preview and has paid DLC. Yeah, that is a little fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. They shouldn't
Yeah,
throw in
but it's
DLC
a whole-
until the game's actually fully released, If they're gonna do it, I
That's 'cause-
mean It's kind of ridiculous for them to even do that.
Yeah, it's like buy more
understand
stuff
it.
for this game that we haven't finished putting stuff in yet.
Basically.
I mean, you do get quite a bit from the expansion, though. You get a whole nother world and new dinosaurs and crap.
Yeah, but that feels like, for a preview program, that feels like it should have just been added as an update.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Because
I
it's an
don't know,
unfinished game as it is.
Right. Yeah.
But they are adding a second large expansive world. So, and there are specific there are some, like there's dragons in that one. I forget the name of it. Scorched Earth, I think, maybe. There's dragon stuff. I don't know. I mean, you could view it that way if you want, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Anything else on that subject at all, guys? Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Tim. If you
No, I
have
was just
something
going to say, fuck survival games. I hate them.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. So I'm gonna skip around a little bit here. PlayStation Plus games for March 2017. I think they're trash compared to the Xbox Live Gold games that we're getting this month.
What even are they?
It's
think they're
Tearaway
kinda trash.
Unfolded. There's another
And
game.
Disc Jam.
Disc Jam. It's
Wow.
like, come on.
All the heavy hitters this month.
I mean,
Yeah,
I understand. I understand why they're doing it because Horizon Zero Dawn just came out, so they don't want to draw any attention away from that. But I mean,
not even comparing it to Xbox Live, they're just kind of shit. Anyways, I don't know that much about Tearaway. I mean, I saw like the little clip from it, and I don't know, it could be
I
kind of
remember seeing
interesting
stuff
but
from it.
Probably
like,
not.
Years ago. Like, it was an early Vita game.
Yeah.
Vita.
And then
Yeah, I don't know how it's supposed to be on PS4 because the way you played that game seemed to be heavily reliant on the features of the Vita when I originally saw it.
yeah.
I've heard of people.
Well, I think. Go ahead, Benz.
I've heard. I think Tearaway got some decent reviews, and at one point I was interested in just turning it on just to see.
I just think it was
what
one
it was
of those
about.
games that nobody bought. Got good
Yeah.
reviews, but nobody bought it.
So that's probably the only one I would probably download just to see what it's about. But other than that, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, like Disc Jam looks like a fucking $1 game, anyways. You like throwing a disc back and forth and like trying to like or like get it past the other person. Or so. I don't know. It looks like something I play on my phone. I'm not into it, but.
What about you, Shewulf? Are you interested in any of these games?
No, not really. It's neat. Free games are always a fun thing to have because it's free games. Let's be honest. Who doesn't like free stuff? But yeah, I'm probably not going to look really too far into these games. Yeah, that's pretty much my gist of it. It's cool they're free, but it's not really games for me.
Yeah,
I totally agree with you on that one. Definitely. Luca, what do you think?
Yeah, no, they look like trash. I had no interest in them. I was just trying not to be an asshole this time. I was trying to calm down, because I was going to start out with, well, you know what? Fuck those games. They look awful. But then I was like, you know what? Let me not say anything. Let me not say anything. I don't want Shewulf coming at my throat like, oh, well, actually, Luca,
Wait, what? What I do? Why does everyone always think I'm so mean? How old am I?
I'm just kidding.
Almost
I'm kidding.
30.
I'm kidding.
Why so serious? If you really must know. I don't know why everyone keeps asking me my age.
Getting into the dirty 30s. It's gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good
Let's see
time.
here. When is your birthday? Hold on.
May
Isn't it
7th,
like
1997. Just look on Fox's profile. We have the exact same birthday.
I know it's in my phone.
We went from talking about PlayStation Plus to birthdays. This
Apparently,
is
yeah.
a crazy podcast tonight. So Borderlands Art and Tech makes a surprise appearance at GDC. What do you guys think? I think it looks really good. I mean, I'm excited for the next Borderlands. just from them showing off like the screenshots. Oh my gosh, I'm absolutely excited for it. I know Remix. I know you're excited for it. So what do you think about that?
Well, they did say that not all the screenshots may or may not like be actual portions of the game, like in the final version.
Let's be honest, though, they probably are. I mean,
Yeah, that was a curl.
Maybe. I mean, of course, I'm a huge Borderlands guy. I've been going back. Tim and I started like last week playing Borderlands 2. We got to get back on that, Tim. And I've been playing Borderlands the pre-sequel because I never actually played that. So I was like, yeah, I'll start playing it. But yeah, man, Borderlands 3, I've been wanting it for a while. I'm glad that they're done with Blood or Battleborn, that fucking crap. And
that was a bad game.
Yeah.
Was it?
yeah,
It was. It was
Well, I don't-
horrible.
Was it really bad? Because a lot of people that played it said it was actually pretty decent.
I mean,
It just
I'll be
released
honest,
at a bad
I didn't
time.
have much of a chance, but
It's the gaming mechanics. Like, for instance, playing the Archer, your arms are always in your face, like nonstop.
Oh,
It's
shit.
like the dumbest thing ever. Who wants to like you're running and your arms are in your face?
yeah.
It's
my whole thing-
Overwatch just with underperformance characters and game mechanics, I guess you
Yeah.
can really say.
Well, my whole thing is like they wanted to kind of do Borderlands graphics or like art style with a twist and do something not Borderlands, but it still was like I feel like it had kind of an identity crisis because it was kind of hanging on to like getting people like, oh, it kind of looks like Borderlands. You should pick this up if you're into Borderlands, but
Yeah.
not really Borderlands. I don't know. It wasn't for me.
yeah, you're talking
Yeah,
about
if you gonna-
Battleborn. Yeah, that game
Yeah,
was
if-
trash.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well dance with the one that brought you. And that's what Gearbox should have did. They should have just stayed with the Borderlands. I'm looking forward to Borderlands 3 though. I love the first two.
Hey Baines,
Um,
I'll play that shit with you.
Hey, you hear everybody here that Remake said that we're gonna play Borderlands 3 together. All right.
Yeah, dude,
Yo,
you said it on
I-
the
I-
podcast.
not
Now
my
you
honor.
have to
I've
do
never
it.
backed out on you, Baines.
Otherwise, we're
all
gonna
right?
call you out. Bro.
Hey,
We're
yeah,
gonna
but y'all
call
be
you
starting. Y'all be starting so super early. You and Tim, y'all be halfway
I know.
through all the games before somebody
I
can get
know.
on and play with y'all.
Well, that's because I
I know,
get
I'm
home
all
from
like-
school and Tim's waking up and we're like, damn, let's play these games.
I know. I
But-
think I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn all week, and I'm only like 11 hours in, and Tim's like freaking level 25. Freaking
Dude, level 35 now.
level 35.
Golly.
Jeez, dude,
You're
come
level
on.
25, like 2 days. Fuck.
Play
It's
the game
crazy.
and
Just
you level
play
up.
the game. Get
Hey,
good, bro.
Hashtag get good.
Hey.
Well, since nobody else is going to talk about what this Borderlands presentation was actually about, I will.
Go ahead.
I
Tim.
thought the
Go ahead, Tim.
everybody's like
Oh
fucking
my
looks
God,
cool.
Tim, you're so savage tonight. I like it.
Salty. Salty.
No, but like the lighting techniques they were using on this this tech demo looked really cool. Like they managed to make like the Borderlands art style more detailed when like I didn't think it was possible keeping that style. It was like
Yeah, they were kind of showing off what they could do with the engine in Borderlands, right?
yeah. It was all like in engine like tech testing and all that sort of stuff. But it was really good. Like there's one point where they were like showing like the shadow through the cloth and that, and I don't think there's not many games that actually do that, especially not with that art style, which would make it even more difficult to do that sort of thing. So
Mhm.
They're supposed to be
Definitely.
showing this. Go ahead.
no, it's definitely impressive.
They're supposed to be showing more of Borderlands 3 at or some art or something at PAX West, I think it is.
Yeah, Borderlands seems to usually be pretty,
Isn't it PAX East
heavy.
coming up?
So yeah,
So
I think-
PAX West was just okay. So it's PAX East then. Yeah. They're supposed to be
But-
showing some more Borderlands 3.
Yeah, I mean, I can just tell you, I love Borderlands. I'm excited for Borderlands 3, and I can't wait for some more stuff to drop on it.
Definitely. So Injustice 2 gear system and new character were revealed. I honestly am trying to stay away from a lot of this stuff for this game. So I'm gonna shoot it out to Tim. What did you think?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, so you haven't seen it. All right, so you're in the same boat as me.
Yeah, same boat as you.
Trying
I want to play it and just trying to stay away from everything about it.
Definitely, yeah. Anybody in the panel that has looked at it, and what are your thoughts on that?
I can tell you I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Wow.
So none of us have looked at it. Okay.
I saw a quick little flash of the gameplay, but I'm the one that sees it, and I'm the one that's not interested in it at all. So that doesn't make any
Wait,
sense.
you're talking about what, Injustice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justice too.
Yeah, there's been a lot of leaks with it. Like, you get to see Harley Quinn. I believe they just released a trailer for
Well, this one's Dr. Fate they're talking about, I think.
Yeah. I
Yes.
saw
Oh, so-
that. I saw
okay.
that, but I didn't want to see anything about the gear system or anything like that because I was like, I wanna be able to jump right in and like actually play it and figure
Well,
that
it's going to
out.
be much like the first one. It's going to have like the same game mechanics and the game, the same style. Just the characters are going to be more, like, I guess the word that gets used a lot is polished, and they're supposed to have more unique stories and stuff like that. So overall, anyone who enjoys a good fighter with these kind of characters, it's going to be a game for you. If you don't, then you're not. It's just gonna come straight down to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I read the Injustice comics after the game came out, and it's really good. So I'm interested in where they're going to take the story.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I'm like trying to stay away from a lot of these like leaks and stuff or these reveals because I'm like, I don't want to know anything at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game looks cool, but I don't really play fighters. I'll give it a shot, but that's about
Yeah,
it.
definitely, definitely. So, BioWare cancels Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer beta. For me, I don't really care that they canceled it because it just means to me like they're actually probably working on more of like the story of the game, maybe working on the single player aspect more. I'm actually kind of happy that they probably did that because then it keeps people from getting leaks and people leaking out stuff probably from Mass Effect. So I mean I'm okay with that. What do you guys
Yeah.
think?
The guy's
Me too.
reasoning was like they're so close to release that is why they didn't want to do tech tests now. That's what he said. But I mean, yeah,
Right.
I'm definitely playing Mass Effect more for the story. Supposedly it's supposed to have a decent multiplayer, but that's also coming from the developers and stuff. I'll give it a look when the game comes out, but I'm there mostly for the story. And if the multiplayer is good, that's an added bonus.
Yeah,
And
the multiplayer
maybe
is
I'll
like
play it.
a side thing. So I'm not too
Yeah.
worried about this beta being cancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
they
really
probably-
think it was a kind of like a shit reason to cancel the beta, talking about it being too close. I mean,
Yeah.
how many betas do we get that are actually close to the game release?
Yeah, but they might have
Quite a
had, like,
few of them,
everybody
actually.
says that like when it's
But-
that close
but-
to the game, it's not a
but-
Yeah,
beta.
lately we've gotten a bunch of them though. We've gotten Ghost. In fact, the Division was a beta close to release.
Yeah.
Battlefront was a beta close to release. Ghost Recon. We've gotten a bunch of betas that have been
Titanfall
close
2,
to
which
release.
then was destroyed because it was
But
released.
see, Mass Effect is in a different area because nobody's really worried about the beta. I mean,
Yeah, that's-
nobody's really worried about the multiplayer. They're worried about the story.
Yeah, there's a couple of
Game.
people around that are interested in the multiplayer, but 90%
here's-
of people are going to play it.
Okay,
first.
here's the thing. That Super Deluxe Edition is like $99, and the only thing extra that it adds is like stuff for the multiplayer. So maybe they canceled it because the multiplayer fucking sucks, and they want to make sure they get that $99 locked in.
Right.
Yeah, I did also read that the multiplayer would be
I can see that.
Or that could be
peer-to-peer.
opposite, and they're actually confident in their multiplayer that people might actually enjoy it and
That is
don't
also
want to give too much of it away. Plus, if they have heard what people say on Twitter and social media, people aren't actually focused on, the multiplayer, and they are focused more on the story. So they decided, why bother putting out the beta? Why waste our time when, people are kind of hating on betas lately because of the fact that it ruins too much of the game for them. So there's always that add to it as well.
Oh, that's true.
It's a mainly single player game, and that's what most people are going to be gravitating towards, and that's why they're picking up this game. Why put a different taste in the consumers' mouths? Why?
Right.
That's true.
With this multiplayer beta, I don't really see a point in that.
I think it's a good thing. I mean, that they canceled it because we're you got to remember, Baines. Also, we're getting if you have EA access, you're getting 10 hours of the game on March
21st.
The first
16th.
Well, the game,
16th,
because the game itself releases on March 21st, but then it has a week early access, which would give it the 16th, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the 10
so it's the
hours up
16th?
like immediately, so then just gonna
Yeah,
be
me
waiting
too.
for like 4 days till the game comes out.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it an hour per day.
It's gonna be
And
difficult to ration myself like that though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
You're
to.
not gonna do it, Tim. You're not gonna do it.
don't
Man.
know how to
Yeah,
ration.
Tim,
We
you know
know
you're
you.
not gonna do it.
You're
Yeah,
the fat kid in the candy shop, Tim, when it comes to
Yeah.
things like this.
Mr. Level 35.
If anything, it's gonna be like 5 hours the first day, 5 hours the second day, and then 3 days of waiting.
Yeah. I'm gonna play an hour a day and then finish it off on the last day so I can go right into the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds smart, bro.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you know how many videos are going to be done? Because PlayStation 4 isn't getting any form of a trial to try this game early. It does say the trial will go live March 16th, 5 days before Mass Effect Andromeda actually releases on March 21st, only to PC and Xbox One. So,
Well,
Because they declined that
PlayStation,
EA access.
yeah, no, I
Yeah,
know,
that's their
but
fault.
PlayStation should have signed with EA to have that EA access.
That's someone.
you guys are
that's
missing
something
out on
that
some stuff,
The
you know?
owner of the console, they need to go to them and say, "Hey, we want EA access." And if
Exactly.
PlayStation doesn't,
That's all they have to
Sony
do,
doesn't
too.
do
I'm
that,
pretty-
then Sony doesn't do that, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Right.
does anyone
pretty
know
sure that's all they have to
exactly?
do.
Like, I'm seeing things that are saying like 10 hours and everything. Is this trial going to be for 10 hours? Or
Yeah,
because
it's a
if
10-hour
so,
trial.
isn't that kind of like
That's a lot.
that's
That is
like
a
why
lot.
even bother buying
That's
the game?
nothing.
People can beat the game and
Yeah, I don't think even with the
This
trailer
is
that they
Mass
had
Effect.
today.
30 hours long if you don't do anything else but the main story.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I'm
and with
sure
the trailer
there'll be
they
some
had
smart ass kid out there who beats it in the 10 hours.
always.
T Reaper.
Unless they do like how Battlefield did it, where they cut off a section of the game
Yeah, it might
so
be.
that people can't go through 10 hours, the entire game.
But
Well,
even
there.
with if anybody saw the trailer they had, I think they dropped it today or maybe yesterday. It was the exploration trailer in their series.
Yeah, I saw they
Um,
dropped it. I haven't watched it yet though.
Yeah, the planets and stuff that you're going to be able to explore. There's going to be a lot of hours in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you'll be able to put 5, 6 hours in one planet. And that will
For
be
sure.
apart from the main story. So I don't think 10 hours would be anything to close to what you're going to get in the full game. Yeah.
Plus, I guess it depends if like your 10 hours is just you get to, you know what I mean? Like you have the limit of 10 hours, or if you're where like say you get to a certain part in the game, it stops you.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I think it's going to be great.
Mass Effect
I
hype.
heard it's already March, man. That's pretty fucking awesome. So
Mm-hmm.
I know it was announced that it was going to come out in March, like a couple months ago. So it's like,
Yeah.
holy crap, it's already here. So I know, Luca, you're absolutely ecstatic for it, right? Because you're
Yeah.
huge Mass
I am a
Effect fan.
huge Mass Effect fan. I actually got into a little scuffle with Scrotum today. He was all like, "Oh, you and Baines are the biggest fans of Mass Effect." I'm like, first of all, I'm a bigger fan than that motherfucker.
Yeah, Ben's only just started playing it
Hey.
recently.
How much
Yeah, I
merchandise do
just
you
got
have,
into it.
Baines? Listen, I got
I
a
just
Miranda
got into it.
Lawson wallet. I got a Mass Effect T-shirt. I got a Mass Effect hoodie. I got a
you
scarf.
got me.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure Jamie Moran would still have you beat.
Yeah,
That's true.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That is one guy I don't think anybody can beat for Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I'm
Huge
talking
shout
about
out to
almost
Jamie
every
Moran, man.
day he tweets something
Good
about
gifts.
about
That's
Mass
true.
Effect. He is hyped about that game.
And those gifts, man,
Super
that he's
hype.
always giving us, man. Those are great.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to Jamie Moran.
I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
happy to see that it's finally releasing because it was supposed to release last year and then it was delayed and then it was supposed to be released in January and then it got delayed and now it's releasing March. So I'm glad that it's finally actually coming out. So
Yeah, definitely excited for that.
I'm sure the delays will be worth it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
well, we hope so. If not, then South Park is another one of those dumbass games that keeps delaying itself.
Well, we'll see with that one. So our last topic of the night is Zelda Breath of the Wild. Is one of the best reviewed games of all time. So
Great for Zelda. I'm really happy for everyone who is playing it. Shewulf, are you playing it, or is GKB like
GKB is.
monopolizing the Switch? So you
Is he-
haven't gotten a chance to try it out yet?
No, I haven't played it.
is he in
Truthfully-
the background right now playing it? Because
No, actually, he's playing Zero Horizon Dawn.
oh,
Or
he's
Horizon,
Zero
Horizon Zero
Dawn.
Dawn. I always say it backwards. He's actually playing that right now.
Are you interested in playing Zelda, Shewulf?
Nope.
Oh.
No. I've never really been a Zelda person, and frankly, after watching GKB play it, like
heartstrings. Damn it!
kid wakes up naked and you're running up a mountain. Like, is that why it got such high scores? Like,
Oh man, you're just killing me tonight, Shewulf.
no. The game looks nice. I watched GKB stream and stuff like that, and I don't know if I'm actually going to try it. I may, just because obviously we have it. It's better than
You've already
just
got
being
it.
around.
I'll try it.
Yeah, exactly. But how long I actually play it, I don't know. I've never really been much of a Zelda player, even growing up. Like I never really got into. That was more my brother's kind of game. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was about the game. I just never got into it.
Everybody knows I'm a huge fan of Zelda, so I am absolutely ecstatic that it's getting these great reviews. I actually picked up a Switch, even though I gave my pre-order Switch to. Even though
Well,
I gave
if you really like it a lot, don't try to eat the cartridge because apparently, like GKB tried it.
Yeah, I know. I
He's
saw that. I was like,
where was that?
GKB, what are you doing? What are you doing, GKB?
Yeah, I was like,
there was this
tasty
big-
GKB.
There was this big video released that the cartridges actually have a taste. GKB was actually saying that it's because kids put the stuff in their mouths and stuff, and this will stop them. And he said it almost tastes like when you lick a battery. And you get that weird.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like it tastes like it's gross. Apparently, I won't put it in my mouth. Like no, it just ain't happening.
I
You
would
did.
have no reason to do that. I don't even know why anyone would do that. But
Honestly,
Yeah,
it's
it's funny.
like people can't help themselves. They hear, "Oh, this tastes bad. Let me just go and
That's true.
taste it." I don't understand. It's like
Get it, put out the
people
taste
that
bad.
Geico commercial.
can't help
Taste
being curious
Uh,
about things.
With the raccoons, like you taste something bad and you just.
Oh, and you want your friends to try it.
it.
yeah,
But back to the reviews of the game. I think it's cool that it's getting good reviews. The question is this game actually worthy of those reviews? And I won't know until I personally play the game and see gameplay.
One thing I am going to throw in there, these perfect reviews are obviously a little too much talked up because people everywhere, and I believe GKB can agree, I'm not going to quote him on this, but the controls are not the best. They do take some getting used to. And, that was one of a lot of even a lot of people who reviewed the game said the controls kind of suck, but yet they still gave it a 10.
Yeah.
So
Which is where I say a bit overhyped much.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just Nintendo hype. It's a new console. The game
When-
and
Yeah, it's
Zelda's
a new-
coming with
it's
it.
a
When
new
was the last
the
Zelda
last
game?
Zelda was
Well,
Skyward Sword.
actually,
So I mean,
I was gonna bring up.
The last new console Zelda game was Skyward Sword.
How
like I
long
said,
ago was that?
That was back on the original Wii.
that was back.
Huh.
I think that was back in 2010 when that last one came out.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, that explains it.
What I found kind of interesting is that the best reviewed game
2011.
ever on Metacritic is actually a Zelda game.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time.
yeah, it makes sense because I mean that that franchise is such a classic, and there's a lot of people who adore that franchise.
Yeah, I don't think
And-
there'd be very few people who would disagree with Ocarina of Time being one of
Yeah,
the best games
But
ever.
I'm just saying, maybe Zelda in general might have a little overhyped, and seeing as it just released on, it's with the Switch, and the Switch has some
Yeah.
hype, and it's the best game that you're gonna play on the Switch as of right now,
Yep.
anyways. So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah, I agree with you, Remix. I think it's overhyped.
Yeah, a lot of Zelda games do get overhyped. Like the last
Yeah.
two like Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess, they've gotten very high review scores, but most people don't like them that much.
Yeah, I like Twilight Princess, but I did not totally care for Skyward Sword. I thought it was kind of meh. They could have done a lot of things with it. It was too linear for me.
Yeah, just as a comparison, like Breath of the Wild, the meta score is 98, but the user score is 7.9.
Wow.
Which
That's
is-
crazy.
Yeah,
So that probably means that there's
Saying
probably a lot of people who don't like it.
So
But-
I just read something kind of funny since we're talking about the Switch. For anyone who loves to decorate their stuff, like how people like to put decals on
don't put the
their
stamp
phones, you're an actual manufacturer who does it for laptops, phones, came out and said, "Please do not ask me for skins for the Nintendo Switch because it will actually damage the surfaces of this
Yeah,
because how sensitive
also,
it is."
if you've got a Switch, put a screen protector on it because the dock will damage the screen.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing that's crazy about the
Yeah.
Switch is that
And I mean, a
they,
7.9. Sorry, Optimus, you keep going.
no, go
Oh,
ahead.
And get a
You
warranty
interrupt me all the
because
time.
apparently,
Yeah.
if you slightly even drop the thing, it breaks very easily. Apparently, so yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo's
With
good
the
at
Switch or
making
the
things
dock?
damage themselves.
Well, that's the funny thing. They try to cater this thing to kids, and it's like, well, not really, because if you drop it once, it's gonna break. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
like kids, no offense to anybody who has kids or any kids out there who are listening to this, but I hope they're not listening to this because we do a lot of things on this podcast that are not acceptable. But
Okay, Dark.
hey,
Yeah, guys, I'm only a minor. I'm gonna have to leave now. Okay.
yeah, you will leave.
Yeah,
pretty soon,
get out of here, Remix. You take fucking Sirius with you. That goddamn troll.
Dang troll. But that's the thing. They should have realized like the screen is gonna break eventually. I mean,
I mean, the 3DS it scratches the screen when you close it.
Does it?
really.
Yeah,
I haven't
it's-
opened my
it's pretty
3DS
huge.
since Pokemon Y, so I don't even know where that
It's
shit
been a
is.
huge problem with Nintendo products for quite a while. That
But you know what?
if they've got a screen, they damage themselves just by the nature of using them.
Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't be too worried about it because I mean, it may or may not happen to you. I mean,
Yeah.
if you take care of it enough, it might
Yeah,
not.
if you've got a Switch, put a screen protector on it.
Yeah.
Do
You
they
can buy them
make
from
screen
eBay for
protectors?
$2.99. They do.
What she?
Oh, they do? Let me
I
see.
said you can buy them from eBay for $2.99.
Are
Oh,
they
that's not
like official Switch screen protectors or just like
No, if you
general
want it
ones?
cheap, they're never going to be official,
Yeah,
like from Nintendo, but
Nintendo. If you want a Nintendo screen protector, it's going to cost you $50.
probably. But they're just as good. It's literally what they use on phones and stuff, just made to the size of a Nintendo Switch. Like,
Oh, that's
works
pretty
just
cool.
as good. So
Yeah, it's not bad. Well, let's get into these outros, people. I'm gonna start with our guest tonight, Shewulf. Where can we find you?
Of course, you can find me over at Gamers Knows Best with GKB, and of course, you can find us on the console corner with that whole crew. I'm not going to name everybody because there's so many. So, but you can find us over there rocking out on Tuesdays, and I got Ladies Night coming up on Monday. You can also find me on Xbox Nation on Wednesdays, and obviously, Community Game Time we hold every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Don't ask me what the game is; I have no idea yet. And
Still don't know, huh? Okay.
Nah, well, because we're working around other things. Yeah. it's
Oh, okay.
confusing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
But we'll have it figured out more or less.
You'll see it on Twitter.
Exactly. You'll see it on Twitter, which of course you can find me on Twitter and Xbox Live at XShewulfX with a U, not a no, and join our Discord. It is fun, guys. It's just Gamers Knows Best, so come chat, hang out.
Yeah, I just joined that today, so I'm definitely gonna come in and check that out. Hang out with you guys, especially get all salty with GKB, like I always do.
Nice.
Very nice. Hey, you weren't salty tonight, Ottoman.
I know, it's surprising, man.
Good on you.
No,
Maybe-
Tim was salty.
Maybe it's because I'm in a good mood, you know.
Somebody's got to bring.
If I'm not salty, then Tim is salty, or somebody else will be salty. So you'll get your daily fix of salt. But Luca, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at the Ashton Luca. I'm also going to be on Console Corners Ladies Night Monday, and you can find me on Xbox Live at the Ashton Luca. If you ever want to talk, just hit me up on Twitter, or send me a party invite, or jump in a party. Jump in when I'm in a party with like Dark and Remix and Timbro and Baines. I never see you in a party, but whatever.
Just calling him out. Nice. Baines, where can we find you, buddy?
Don't worry about that. It's mbangs99, gamer tag, PlayStation, and Xbox. That's it.
Remix.
Yo, you can hit me up on Twitter, YouTube, and Xbox, all Remix Essence, as well as, everybody's Twitter is in this description below, including Shewulf's. So if you want it quick and easy, there you go. That's it.
Tim, I left you for last because you got mad at me earlier. And
Yeah, I was gonna say you better not fucking forget about me again.
Dang, man. I feel like man, it was so sexy when you did that. I'm just kidding. Tim, where can we find you, buddy?
You can find me here every week, as long as I'm not busy or something. But I'm
Damn,
never
okay,
fucking
man.
busy, so. You can find me on Xbox and I guess PlayStation, since I'm on there at the moment. At Timidos, and on Twitter at Timidos as well.
Nice. And I'm your host, Dark Optimus. You can find me at Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox Live, the same name. Yeah, you can find me here every week. Shewulf, I absolutely appreciate you coming out tonight. And,
Real pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate
It
it,
was
Shewulf.
fun
Being our
rocking out with you
guest.
guys.
You were absolutely fantastic. Thanks for the logo again. I absolutely
Of course.
appreciate it. You're an awesome designer. So if anybody out there who needs somebody to do their designs, hit up Shewulf. She definitely will hopefully get back to you on that.
Or you can go see the pros like Jake and
Yeah, you can go to
Diego and-
Graphics God,
I'd rather not have my inbox filled with people asking me for logos. I don't charge like they do, so I'd rather not be like overfilled.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
I don't think you have
just
anything to
professionals,
worry
people.
about.
No, I know, but still, it's funny.
All right, everybody.
All right, everybody.
All right,
We'll see
thanks
you
for
out.
coming. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.